Hey guys, so today is Sunday, December 4th or December 3rd? I think it's December 3rd. We just got done, so this is going to be a very short video. We just wanted to say hi, we love you, we miss you. We got done with church this morning, loved it. One of these days I'll do a video so you guys can see the property out there. And then we went from church to a home group. There was a couple there that did a home group, and there were how many families? 1, 2, 3. I think there were 3 different families and a bunch of kids that were very similar ages to you guys, Warren and Clara. I got to pray with a young girl, not young, but she's 11 years old, so very close to your age, Clara. And she received the baptism of fire, so she received her spiritual prayer language, which was so cool. And it reminded me of you guys. It was such a blessing. I love kids. I love your guys' ages. And yeah, so I'm not going to get off on tangent, but I just want you to know how much I love you and I miss you. We spent quite a few hours over there. Probably 3 hours over at their house. We ate, we did worship together, we prayed together and just communed. And then beautiful home, like out in the middle of nowhere. Here, I'm going to show you right now where we're at, so you can see. It's just beautiful here, right? Like, look at all the trees, the colors. It's December, so like just get you a full view of just go back to the colors of the trees. It's beautiful. And we actually weren't very far from here. We were maybe like 13 minutes from here, and we're now at another home church. So there was some older couples had invited us to go to a house church here. So we're just gonna commune together. We'll do some worship, we'll do some prayer, talk about today's message from church, which was about spiritual warfare. It was awesome. I loved it.
And identity.
Yeah, talking about our identity, and I really honored that and admired that about our pastor, because I do think that, like, before you go into spiritual warfare, you need to know who you are. If you don't have the identity of knowing that you've already overcome it, and God went ahead of you to win the battle, and all you need to do is say, I'm with you, God. Now I'm going to go through this battle with you. You already went ahead of me. You already won, because he's, he knows the end from the beginning. He already did everything for us, and now we have to go through it with him. But knowing who we are, like, that's huge. If we go into a battle and we don't know who we are or what our plan is, or even if we think we're going to win, then you're going in with a defeated mind. And so he really spoke about identity and our authority as a child of God, and really being able to see the battlefield with a different view. And talked about just our own things that the false reality of our identity. So we may think something that the enemy is making us think, and we've come into agreement with it. Like, let's just say if you felt like, I'll never be able to play the piano. Oh, I'll never be able to play the piano. Well, that wasn't your thought. That was the enemy's thought. And then we came into agreement with it. And Pastor was talking to us about how there are things in our life that we have taken on as our own identity, or we have started to believe something that isn't who we are. And he was teaching us how we can just break that off in the name of Jesus. And we do that by acknowledging it. That means realizing it, and then repenting and just saying, Jesus, take this from me. I am so sorry. I keep calling myself stupid. I keep saying that I can't do something, and I know who I am, a child of God, and I am above all things, and I'm a victor. So that was awesome.
Like one of the phrases he was saying, as far as identifying the lie and replacing it with the truth. Well, renouncing the lie and replacing it with the truth. that really struck me was when he said, when people say, well, I'm just a sinner saved by grace, but I love God. And he says that that's not true. You are a lover of God that sometimes falls into sin or that struggles with sin. But your main identity is you're a lover of God. How that changes everything, because the way you see yourself is your behavior is going to pretty much follow. The inclinations of your heart are going to follow who you think you are. And the most accurate version of who we actually are is told to us by God and by His Word. We find it in His Word constantly. He says things like, you are the righteousness of God. You are the apple of my eye. You are my son and my daughter, and I love you, and I never forsake you. I'm always with you. I love you unconditionally. Those realities shape who we really are in our identity, which then shape the way we behave, the way we operate in the world. I thought that was very powerful. But that is the battle. The battle is over our minds and over our hearts and what we're going to believe. If we're going to believe the truth of who God says we are and who He says He is, over the lies, which are constantly defeating us every time we agree with the lies, every time we buy into those lies, right? That we're worthless, that we're not loved. Lies from the pit of hell. But when we buy them, if I'm worthless, well, then I start to act like I am worthless. Thank you.
Do you want to park up there?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move up. One of the hosts, actually, I think the guy who owns the home, he just walked out and said, you can park up here. So we're going to move the car into the driveway and park up there. That was so good. That is good. That is so true. There's so much truth to that. And that there are things that we come into agreement with that aren't who we are at all. And the enemy is so good at making us think it, especially if he uses other people around us to keep telling us what we're already thinking, which is not what we're thinking. It's what the enemy is making us think. And so I love that.
He does it in such a way that it sounds like it's our own voice.
Yeah.
To make it more believable.
Right.
It's still a lie.
Right. Yep. So, I love you guys. I miss you so much. So much. I'm going to give you a hug, and then we're going to have to say goodbye. But I love you. All right. Mwah.
Bye-bye.
I love you. See ya. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.